Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
All right, y'all. Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay. And again, who I got in the building right next to me? I got Craftmatic in the building.
Yes, sir. In full effect tonight, my friend. In full effect tonight, man.
See, y'all got nice drinks in front of you. But before I go any further with the drinks, we got to say who we got from Macon, Georgia. We got Barbara in the building.
Barbara's in the house. Hello, everybody. How we doing today?
We got more people coming out again. APs making her big intro, like she always do. But right before I do all that, one of the things I want to say is this is brought to you by R&B Roll-Off. Small little garbage company that can do great things for you. Your construction needs, that's what we can do. We can take that trash away. That's what I'm telling you, because that's what I can do.
Yeah.
And I'm part of it. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Use them.
That's big business, boy. That's big. Every time I hear you introduce it, I think about the company that you used to work for.
Yeah.
Like they're a $1 billion company, bro.
Big time. And I'm trying to nip at their heels.
There's a lot of potential there. Yeah. Listen,
why not?
Let's get us 100 mil real quick, right?
Hey, somebody got to get it. But one of the things, you got to be consistent.
There you go.
You know, a lot of people want to be the boss, but understand it's more to it than just that title.
Yeah.
People got to get away from all that. But that's what we can teach you over here.
You know, that's a fundamental of life. That consistency is you got to follow the process and you got to follow the principles of life. And every time you get off the pathway of the right process or the right principle, you're going to be spinning your wheels.
Right.
If you don't stay on that principle or that process, you will most certainly miss the mark. Way more than you need to, right?
Yeah.
So this is Bar Talk with Jay, and my name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. Obviously, we got Barb in the house, and we are here to inspire. That's what we do. We inspire through dialogue. Just a simple conversation about a subject really seems to bring out the best in all of us. And I think a lot of times we sit in our living rooms and in our lives kind of alone, and there's no one to talk to. And so we really can't get to the root of things because we're not able to express ourselves. And so I'm hoping that this is an opportunity for you to look in the mirror, kind of in the situation and circumstances that we talk about, and find yourself. Find yourself, build yourself, find a way to grow yourself, change your mind, do something better than you've ever done it before. And that's the kind of the kind of energy that we want to bring in this show. This is about development, self-development, just through listening and participating in the dialogue. So we thank you for being here tonight. We got a fabulous show lined up, and we always like to start with the Lord in mind. And so we're going to do a prayer tonight.
Go ahead, man.
You want me to do it?
Hey, man, bro, you've been on one, man.
All right.
Gotta let you do you.
I just want to focus on kind of the topic of tonight, which is love. And so let's bring it to the Lord. Heavenly Father, we come into your presence right now with our heads bowed and our hearts humbled, just thanking you for your awesome presence in our lives. We thank you for being with us, being through us, and guiding us through this wonderful life. And we ask tonight that you would be with us through this great conversation. Inspire us, Lord, on the idea of love. Everyone is looking for love. Everyone seems to be needing and expecting it. And probably you planted a seed in our heart, Lord, that says we have to have love. And so we're asking you to help us find it and to help us understand it and to remove some of the nonsense in this world because there is most certainly a lot of that. And so we thank you for your awesome power and presence and for being with us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Ooh, well, I had a 20-minute sermon in the back of my head. If y'all just let me keep going.
You cut it down. You cut it down a little bit.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, I did.
Because on Sunday, I'll be trying to make it to the game. I'll be trying to.
But you know what was going through my mind in the midst of the prayer?
What is that?
It's that there's just not enough talk or inspiration about love, right? I mean, you see, politics and the Democrats and the Republicans, and we see all the other issues of the world, but we don't really get a chance to talk about love, And we're not necessarily going to spend all of our time on love tonight. I think we got to go to the opposite side of it.
Yeah, right. We got to go just a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, we got the holidays coming up. We want to be festive, and if anybody didn't know, don't look for us next Thursday. I want y'all to enjoy y'all meals and understand.
Yes.
We're about family, and we're about enjoying ourselves. We enjoy bringing you this. So again, next Thursday, you feel lonely, just sit at your table, your round table, and y'all have this conversation we have.
There you go.
And I will be happy.
That's
telling you, that will make my Thanksgiving.
That's it.
So,
shall we cover?
Yeah, we're going to Barb. You want to give them the topic from last week?
Yes. Does sex on the first date kill the chances of having a relationship?
It can. It can do all kinds of things.
It can.
I mean, it might not have been a possibility in the first place.
Right.
You know, only thing I can tell you is, obviously, you know what you want.
Right.
I mean, because you're doing it.
We just curious. We asked you a question last week.
Oh,
You
you
just ran away from it.
Hey, you know something? Y'all ain't be putting me on.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Hold on. You never give us a straight
You know
answer.
something?
To the
You
question?
always go to Canada.
That's right.
Okay, what's the
That's right.
question?
The question was,
What's
the
that?
person that you was with that night,
Oh, yeah, that one
when you
night.
got ready to roll back
Yeah.
up to Atlanta,
Uh-huh.
did you feel as though you could have a relationship with that person?
Oh, hell no. I sure did. I ain't think twice about that ass. I was like, no, it's okay. Don't want me out like that. I'm no. She needed help, man.
I like that perspective.
I don't know what
right?
she had on hers, a ginseng or something, but I'm just trying to make me like, oh, the hell no. I'm like, no. Well, I don't know what it was.
Hey, you folks can see, y'all can see how real this show gets already. I like that perspective, Jay, because that's no nonsense. She was like, hey, I'm not thinking about love. I'm thinking about having a good time. I think about we enjoy one another. We experience some love and some sexuality and sensuality.
We did some good pounding, some P90X, and it was more workout for me. Lord have mercy. They don't talk about what you think. I was thinking about how I need to get on up this road before I fall asleep. I'm not. How to wear a person, I ain't no need to go through all that.
Okay.
I don't know what they be trying to these days.
Listen, I think that having sex on the first date, it doesn't kill, but it dramatically reduces the chances, right? And my measurement tool is freakiness, right?
Oh,
and so
real freaky on that first one.
yeah, if I get lots of freakiness on the first one, that's habitual. That means she been doing that lots. You know what I'm saying? That's her program, her standard program. So I wouldn't be interested in probably dating or falling in love with that. Dating or falling in love with that, right?
But she's freaky.
Yeah. I wouldn't be dating and falling in love. Right?
I mean,
Are you suggesting that you would date and fall in love?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I won't take this far up. I won't take this far up. I will say, at least we won't be bored. I'm just saying, man, she got that.
Man, listen, as soon as it's time to leave the sex world and start talking the business of life, y'all just drop off in the deep end of the ocean and never be heard of again.
Well, maybe we don't need to talk about that.
Well, you're going to have to talk about that, right? Hey, listen, if you're going to put her name on your checkbook, then you probably need to talk about that.
I mean, I ain't even got out of bed yet. Lord have mercy, to checkbook?
Yeah, well, listen, when you get out of bed, that's one of the things you need to think about.
Oh, okay. I ain't got that far.
So,
y'all
listen,
way ahead of time.
it was a very dynamic show, and you have to go back and listen to it. It really just opens the door to your thoughts and understanding about dating and about how people think about dating. How to interpret the dating situation, how perhaps you're being interpreted.
Oh yeah,
There's a big portion of communication and falling in love and understanding one another. So please go back and look at it. We're all over the internet: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, iTunes. What am I missing here?
Oh, you forgot POF. You forgot Meet Me. Yeah, that's right. All y'all Meet Me people, we out there with y'all. Yeah, y'all keep a date. I heard y'all got 5 million. I want 4 million. I'll leave 1 million. I want all y'all Black Planet. I'm gonna get on Craigslist. I'm gonna put the show on Craig. I ain't lying. Y'all need this. Y'all need to buy it for a whole $1. And I'm gonna get a cash app.
Lord help him, please.
Yeah, somebody.
Let's go ahead and cover our tip for the day. Barbara, would you like to read the tip?
Yeah.
This is very interesting, folks. This is a very interesting tip for the day. Please go ahead.
I was thinking about some things when I wrote this, and somebody helped me out with it, and I want to thank them out. They don't want their name to be known.
Okay.
But part of the question is, can we love someone? Do we have time? The world has conditioned us to have time for love. Everything is instant and ready to go, even our relationships. There is no care, loyalty, or communication anymore. When are we going to take the time to make it right again?
That's powerful.
I love this tip right here, this topic, because it says, the first question it asks is, can we love someone?
That's important.
The second question that asks is, do we have time? Right? The third innuendo is that the world has conditioned us not to have time for love. Everything's instant coffee, right? And that's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about instant coffee versus something of value and something tangible, right? Instant coffee produces no fruit. Something valuable and tangible produces lots of fruit and seeds to create more and more fruit. See, in my mind, the question becomes, this thing on love, does it exist? If you are with a person, this is just my interpretation, right? If you're with a person and you're starting to date and see one another, or you've seen each other, known each other for a while, right. The question is do you believe that love exists between the two of you, right? Because only that realization of love is going to allow you to spend time on it, right? Okay. You're not going to be interested in spending time on something that is not full of love. So when you answer the question, does love truly exist there, then you know it's okay to spend time. Now, the reality is that it says there's no care, loyalty, or communication anymore. People are detaching from the world. It's just, I say a sad reality, but I'm going to dissect a little bit here. Just, the world is expanding, the universe is expanding, and it's expanding at a faster and faster rate. That means we can stand right next to each other and we're still drifting and drifting apart faster and faster every day. So we have to force feed love in order to bring it into our sphere of influence, into our sphere of gravity, right? So people are detaching. That's the way the world works. There is less care, there's less emotions. And the flip side is there is a real reason to protect yourself when it comes to the love. There's a real reason to pump the brakes. Right? Because you're about to put your entire existence in the hands of someone else. And if they're not the right someone else, if you don't see the picture right, if you don't have some divine guidance on the situation, you're going to make a mistake and you're going to live up in unhappiness and regrets. And so there is a reason to pump the brakes on love. Yes, we can love. There is plenty of time for love, but you're only going to love that which is worthy, which is valuable, someone who's pouring into you, someone who's respectable, somebody who's going somewhere, someone who has family values. Those are the kinds of people that we're looking for to love. Anything else just falls short of, and again, will never produce fruit.
Wow. All I can say, and I don't know what I look for, but I can say, breaking it back down, you give more thought of what we need to be doing. And I love the fact when you say things go apart, you got to take the time to try to bring it back together. Because the world can. It can tear you apart all day long. All day long. But what are you allowing it to?
Right.
Are you allowing family to go away? Are you not even trying to seek after the ones you love? Because, I got so much other things to do.
Right.
We put other things in front of some of the loved ones we have in front of us until something happens. Yes. So, again, why wait to tragedy to bring you back to what you really core feel?
Yeah, man.
Your core is, I want to be with them. But reality is, I got this is in front of me. Yeah. You can work it out like anything else. Yeah. But it's your work. It's your effort. And I like to say, a lot of people be like, yo, man, if they don't come for me, I ain't going for them. That's just a selfish way of looking at life. Because everybody ain't going to be able to come for you. And
right.
when they do, and you don't show it back, they ain't going to keep coming. Right. That's why a lot of people are alone.
That's why. And listen, there's less and everyone has less and less tolerance for that whole process. Right? So now you're saying that rather than love being this, I picture love being this bright star, that love is like this speck of light that just passes before your eyes, and and you might see it for only a moment. You might not. You might not.
Yeah, darkness.
Again, what a powerful, we call it tip for today, but dialogue about love and whether it really exists. Can we love someone? I'm just going to continue on to my just small segment here. I'm just going to take a minute or minute and a half or so to kind of dialogue on what Barbara has put together for me. She says, why should we live life with no regrets? Ooh, I like that. Right? When I think of regrets, the first thing I think about is I'm looking in the past. Right? I'm looking into, in our minds, what is finite. Right? There's no way out of the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that there's lots of potential for tomorrow, that if you're paying attention to the past, you're depleting yourself. That regrets is really thinking about yesterday, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with looking at yourself and saying, I should have did this, I could have did this, next time I want to do it this way. There's nothing wrong with self-assessment. There's nothing wrong with taking a good look at your past and seeing who you really have been. Because as much as we try to talk ourselves into being what we want to be or who we think we should be, the reality is we only are as much as we have achieved or put forth in our past. It's just the way the universe works. And so we can look at our past and see who we are, but don't live thinking that you're depleted because of your past. See, your tomorrow can bring brand new life. God can reveal new life, and so I just believe that. And also, one of the other things I was going to say is that tomorrow is not promised.
Oh, say that again.
Right? And typically, when we regret, it's because we did something that we know we should. We did not do something that we know we should have done. We know we were capable of it. We know we had the money, the talent, the time, but we did not do it. And so, at the end of that, we start beating ourselves up, right? And we start being down on ourselves. And this is where a lot of stress comes from, a lot of depression comes from, a lot of anxiety, a lot of lack of self-esteem comes from these types of issues. Stop looking in your past and start looking to your future. One of the best exercises I ever recommended was to take I'm 50 years old. And so let's just assume I got 20 good years left in life. I probably got 50, I ain't no joke. But let's say I got 20 years, right? I need to begin thinking about what I'm going to do with the next 20 years. Think about the whole 20 years, not just a little piece or part. Think about the whole 20 years. Now you got your mind focused on the big pie and the big picture, right? Rather than the small things that might create fear and minimize your thinking about what you can achieve for tomorrow, right? So tomorrow is not promised. Go get it, folks.
Thank you.
It's time to go hard in the paint in life. No matter who you are, if you're listening to this program, whether it's now or 2050, that it is time to go hard. That means put your best foot forward, create a definite plan, start asking for some divine guidance, start asking for some help in the world, and move your feet in the direction of your highest potential. No more sitting around, no more lollygagging. I just cannot stand people who are lackadaisical and want the world to just fall in their lap. It doesn't happen that way.
No, it
right? Fruit, the farm and the farmer, they got to work hard. Right? They got to work hard to produce lots of fruit. But if you work hard, you'll produce way more fruit than just your onesie attempt. You'll create a whole mirage of good stuff coming back toward you. All you got to do is go forward, right? So I won't belabor the point, but please, folks, do not live with regret. Live with hope for the potential of a great tomorrow.
I like how you put that. I really do. Because again, we gotta look for more than what we see in front of us. But go ahead, bro. Bob. I got a big with you.
Yeah.
You're kind of quiet up here. What's the topic?
All right, it's time to go to our first break. Barb's gonna give us our topic. What you got for us, Barb?
Since sex has gotten easier to get, why is love so hard to find?
All right. Well, we're gonna be back to answer that one, and hopefully we'll have some more people in the audience that's gonna participate. And don't forget, we got that guy that knows some cornballs. Yeah, that one that look like him, not him. He up next.
All right, and we'll be right back with more Talk with Jay.
Welcome back to Bar Talk with Jay. And again, who we just walked in the building, we got Big Phil in the building.
Big Phil in the house.
What up, Jay?
What's up with you? Why?
What up, Craig?
No, we got a little small intermission. He got to put on his shirt.
Oh yeah.
We got to represent tonight.
We got to represent.
We got the 180 And on the back we got that 3. And we're gonna talk about a little bit about that in a minute, because we got somebody that look like him, just like him,
Okay.
that's on my line.
Okay.
So let's bring Jamal on. Jamal, what you got going, big baby?
What's how y'all doing tonight?
Man, you got that slow voice. You got that female next to you, dog. You got that Barry White going on.
Man, I got that smooth with me right now. You know what I'm saying? Got a little brown in me right now. It's one of those days that you just want to cuddle up. So you know I might get into later on.
Man, you kind of remind me of Black Tony, man. Y'all know who Black Tony is?
No, he did.
AKA Jamal.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm just messing with
I ain't see that one coming.
No, he's not. He's just serious.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Every
Black
time
Tony.
Black Tony come on, he doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So what's happening, man? What's going on with you tonight?
Man, I caught that game last night. Shout out to my man Bron. He done became number 5 on the scoring list.
Right.
Lincoln was crazy, 44 points. I mean, almost tripped up. But come on.
Right. Yeah, let's give him a shout out for that.
Got you.
Yeah. That's a stat I wasn't quite aware of. I don't keep up with it, but man, I'm glad you brought that to the table. Yes, sir.
What you got for us today, bro? Jamal, wake up.
Oh, you know me as well?
No, you. Come on, baby. What you got?
Oh, alright. Well, I wanted to know, would you ever date, would you ever date a married person even if the relationship was on the decline?
Ooh. Would you ever date a married person and you knew their relationship was on the decline?
I have.
That's trouble waiting to happen right there, man. You know what I mean?
How it work out for you?
I ain't date
I did very well.
Well, yeah, you got the brain up every day. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
How it work out for her?
worked out well for her.
You was a recipient. Yeah, she
was too.
Yeah, she probably needed to. She probably needed to.
You gave her
So her wild oats.
Huh?
You gave her what, 83?
No, she got more than that. She got a whole lot more than that.
Whole lot more than
Okay,
that.
I did too though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I said that room didn't pull out.
I would not want to. I would not want to. And everybody has the potential to get caught up. You know what I'm saying? But nah, I would probably leave that alone if I was in my right mind.
I don't say you dead on. A lot of times when you go that direction, feelings can come fast, and then the divorce never happens. So you might feel like I would never mess with a married person, but technically you are. And if she don't follow up on what she says she's gonna do, and she end up going back with him, you just continue to mess with a married person. So again, you gotta look at where everything really lies, because somebody can tell you I'm on my way out, but that's a perception they want you to have.
Yeah.
But to them, I just want this other person to really get their stuff right. You know, maybe if I go out here and do this, maybe they get their stuff together.
Right.
Now, at that point, they're playing. Okay, and you can be a pawn.
Yes.
And you don't even think you're a pawn. You thinking you something bigger than that. And she just moving you along just to reveal she going right back at home where she already really was.
Yeah.
But you thought she'd just be with you. So like I said, before you get played, let's understand that she can finish all that up, and then you can jump in it, and then this less of that can ever happen.
Yeah, but if I understand the question coming from Jamal, I would probably say that he's suggesting that, hey, somebody gonna hit it, so you might as well be me. You know, that was kind of, you know, I don't know. Is that your mentality, Jamal?
I ain't telling on myself. I don't want to put no. I feel like he needs to send a thank you card. I'm sending her back home with a Coke and a smile, so, you know what I'm saying? My Christmas gift better be a little extra. She ain't arguing with you as much. I'm more than happy to oblige.
Hey, listen, do you have any care or concern that she might just be able to make her relationship work and not have to, like, dissipate the value of the last 20 years that she had with him? I mean, you have any concern for that?
From the personal experience, I'm simply saying topic of discussion for the night. I'm kind of ruthless in that regard because I'm kind of that junkyard where what you do in your relationship, that's your business. What I do in my day that don't involve you, that's my business. When me and you get together between this hour and this hour is my business. What you do after you leave me,
That's
I
your
don't know
business.
what to tell you.
Sound like he's not that guy that needs to be that guy. He's the one that's trying to straight tell you, it's all about him.
And listen, and there are many of you folks who are listening who feel that way and identify with it. And to each his own. I completely understand that he's giving his own personal perspective. I just have lived enough life to understand karma and a little bit about love, and it ain't nothing but a fire in that hole. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing but blaze over there. Ain't nothing but trouble. There is always the option of just a good time. No, it's not my perspective.
I mean, this is not my thing.
It's not my thing. You know what I mean? Right.
One of the things I like to say is there's so many single women out there, and to go after a woman that's already have a ring on her finger, already been claimed and committed, and just
Excuse me, wait, pause on the play flag.
No, he said out.
You said the men go after the women? No.
No.
I'm not.
I ain't saying you.
Let's just say hypothetically, we're not going after the woman. It's just presented with a ribbon and a bow.
Oh, okay. So it was presented to you. It
I
came to
think
you.
it was just presented that way.
Oh, yeah. So it came to you. So it's a lot different. Okay.
Happy home.
She's no longer wearing the ring.
You gonna say no?
She came to you
Yeah,
gift wrapped.
So you know the situation. You just choose to ignore those facts, right? That don't mean nothing. That's like.
Okay, well, I guess I need to ask a better question, man.
Okay.
Man, would you mess around with the female, then after you done messed around, she goes, hey, by the way, I'm married?
Oh.
After you done did what you did,
They not done that.
she popped up, she married.
Yeah, I mean,
You done did what
I'm with Phil. I did. I mean, I felt like it should have been discussed. Yeah, it should have been discussed ahead of time, but it wasn't. So
What'd you say, Chris?
I didn't stop.
I mean,
I didn't know.
I think the hook was already set there. Damn it. I got
it's hard to stop this.
I got bamboozled. I didn't know what I was getting into,
Hey.
And so once the hook set, I was like, well, damn, it was too easy and with no repercussions.
Technically, what?
Technically, it's not hard to stop.
Oh, no. I was going down that track.
Yeah, it's not hard to stop.
I was full stride.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't trying.
Go down there.
I didn't choose to do. I finished the job. I signed up for a job.
we ain't no quitters. Mama ain't no quitters.
Yeah.
No.
I faded it though. I faded it real quick. I just started fading it. I ain't really.
I faded
quit
out
the program. I just was
I was
like,
like, this should have been a discussion before we did all this. We got in the round two before I found out any of this. I mean, you got more out of me than I thought I should ever give you. I wanted to give it a 180. That 183 rule is just totally out.
Now watch, we having this discussion and it's all laughs, right? But now if we had a female on the phone, we'd flip it and we'd go women. Y'all been with some dudes and you didn't know that he had a girl. And then y'all smashed. Females, what would you do if you found out he had another female? But it was just physical. Would you continue to do what you're doing with him? Or what you call it up. And I want every female to lie and say they ain't never messed with. I won't.
Well,
with
Jamal, well, me personally, I can't speak for everybody else, but if I found out he was, I would stop because I wouldn't want to be in that situation if I'm married and my man did the same thing. It's all about respect. But if I found out later, which I didn't know at first, I would have that conversation with him. No, we can't go any further. No matter how much I like it, or how much I wanted to do it again, I wouldn't. That's me. I can't speak for everybody else though. But I know some women would. They would keep on and enjoy the ride.
Quite a few, actually. Right? Right. Quite a few. You know, when we look at real life and statistics.
I like Barb's answer, and I think it was 100% clean, and I like it. But let's just go on here with the ratchet ones.
It's a ratchet
one.
That was a ratchet.
You gave up you, and I appreciate that.
And then I said some.
So Phil,
most.
Cause see, Phil has some experiences.
I think that.
You just put him out there, huh?
Yeah, under the bus.
I think that a lot of women, regardless if they want to admit it or not, whether the man is single, whether he's married, whether he's in a relationship, they see the signs. If they like the dude genuinely, 9 times out of 10 they stay anyway, just because they like the individual.
Yeah. Man, that's as real as it gets.
I mean, I think that's a real breakdown.
Yeah.
And a better understanding.
No. You said that you would leave.
I said, and some women,
did
I not, would stay and enjoy the ride. That's what I said.
I think it's more than some. I think if you took
He said the majority.
I think it's like 95% stay.
One at a time. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jamal.
I said, Phil, we know 1 and 2. See, it was easy to, when we throw out, okay, man, would you mess around with a married? But it was just open the door to see, now if it's flip vice versa, because we always hear so much about, these men are dogs that keep cheating on me. At some point, y'all gotta realize, you do realize there's other women that know about y'all that still letting us do what we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, the other women that you think is oh so holy, she just oh so holy.
Right.
Well, hold on, because we got somebody just walked in the building, and I think this person might want to jump in on this conversation. Yeah. So we're going to see what she got to say. We're just going to throw her on up in there. What's going on with AP in the building, y'all?
Let her come in.
We got AP in the back.
Hi, how are you? It's good to see you. Hello,
Listen, why don't we go ahead and take a break and then come back and keep this dialogue going, because this is rich. This is really rich. Actually, we got to get the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey in, and then we're gonna come back to this particular subject, because I think it lends itself very well to tonight's topic. Again, we're talking about, since sex became easier to get, love has become harder to find. There's so many outlets for sex, and there's almost none for love. Let's talk about that when we get back. The second half of the show. Bar Talk with Jay. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Bar Talk with Jay, man. This is hot and on fire. We still got part 2 of this. We still got Jamal on the line. Jamal, we got Jamal, you got a lot of background now, We got AP in the building, so we want to bring AP up to speed of what you was asking. So go ahead and break it down for AP so she can jump in on this real quick.
On the woman's side, yeah.
Thug side.
Come on, Jay.
Jamal, you with us? All right. So basically, what Jamal was asking was, if I don't know, I'm losing my train of thought a little bit. If a woman would cheat with a married man, or if a woman would date somebody or have sex with somebody who was in a relationship, And like, how would she feel about that? What would she do? Would she?
Hold on. Yeah,
Jeffrey.
He got Jeffrey on.
Yo. Man, there you go.
Brother Jeffrey, what's happening, man?
Oh man, everything's good. Everything's lovely. Everything's good up in the place. For the class, how's it going?
Man, it's going better. Much better now,
We
man.
trying to make it happen, man. Wait a minute. How was your date? That's what we want to know, first of all.
Brother Jay, the day was all right. Who else we got in the building? EFT?
Oh, yeah. We got the alphabet up in here. We got AP in the building. We got Barb in the building. And we got my man Phil in the back.
Hello.
What up, Jeff?
All right. Hey, ladies, brother Phil, what's going on, man? Listen. Today was a pretty cold day. Pretty cold day, kind of rainy, and all that stuff. It was a little crazy, but actually, you know what time it is.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it is time for you to close your mouth and listen. You ask me some questions, I give you some answers from a man's point of view. Now, I got one reason for the habitually single woman, and I got one reason for the habitually single man. That's why you might be single, but before we get to that, here is my disclaimer. Now, see, what I'm going to talk about might not apply to you, and if it doesn't apply to you, I want you to put your foot up in this shoe. But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes and walk around in them, because you're about to learn something tonight. Now, ladies, you go first. All right, ladies. Now, listen, some of y'all are single quite simply because you don't know anything about what a man's supposed to do. I need you to understand, first of all, there wasn't no man in your household when you were growing up, and you didn't get the right type of exposure to what men do. So when you actually get a good man, you don't know how to handle it. You don't know how to partner with him because you've only been taught that you can do it all by yourself, that you you don't need no man. So when you get a man that knows how to partner, that knows how to inspire submission, that has a great sense of direction, you fight him. And you fight him simply because you don't know how to deal with the emotions that you're feeling on the inside. Who is this man that actually has a good sense on his, in his spirit? This man that has a sense of direction, actually has his stuff good together. You don't know how to partner with that. All you know how to do is to fight that. Because you've been taught for so long to be that independent woman. And independent means that you're standing by yourself. So don't be surprised that your ass is single.
Okay. Boy, the punchline.
Yeah, it was.
The punchline hurt me, and it wasn't even about me.
Man. That ain't hit you in the throat.
I have always asked the question, if you haven't had a man around, how can you know what a real man is supposed to be like? Right? If you never, had experience with cats, and all of a sudden you got a cat, you just really don't know, how to operate. And so I think that's that's kind of a lifelong lesson for all of us. You may have a man and a woman, you may have a mother and a father in the house, but you never saw love. How could you never, how do you supposed to go and express love tomorrow in your life and you've never seen it? That's a difficulty that we all face. Even on another level, if you've never seen a business person go hard, how do you know what going hard in business is really like? That's why we have to surround ourselves with people like-minded. So, I won't say in the defense of women, but, the reality is we don't know what we don't know sometimes. And,
well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you was a boy and you was raised in a house without a man, then you don't know what that looked like either. So, I mean, the road goes both ways.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, on that one.
But the punchline is like women. What he said, women, you gotta find a way, grind a way to understanding what a man is supposed to be like. And what a man is. If you got to read about it in your books, if you got to pray about it and ask the Lord to show you. But until you get a vision of that, you're not going to be able to bond with the man enough to create long-term relationship and family. It's not going to happen. And so I think that's what Jeffrey's commentary always is about. Every week, he just want to tear our ass up a little bit so that we can get right. So we can,
break it down to build you up.
We can wake up. So I'll leave it at that. Any other comments on that?
No, I mean,
all right, Brother Jeffrey, we'll give it back to you, sir.
All right, fellas, don't think I'm letting y'all off the hook. Fellas, you are next.
All right.
Now, fellas, some of you were single simply because you have no vision. I need you to understand, you can have an idea all day. You can have a thought all year, but you don't have any type of vision. You don't have any type of gumption to be able to take that idea or that concept and turn it into reality. You ain't got no type of spirit. You ain't got no type of wisdom. Matter of fact, you're lazy. And the bottom line of it is, you can have all these hopes and dreams and these things that you want to do, but you never do it because you're actually scared of your own success. So when a woman comes up and she sees all these dreams and all these visions and she's ready to pour into it, well, you actually ain't even got a glass for her to pour it into. You ain't got a pitcher. You ain't even got a shot glass for her to pour anything into to fuel your vision because you're lazy. I want you to understand right now, ain't no woman gonna try to pour into you and you keep moving the damn glass.
That's right.
What she gonna do instead of wasting all that good energy is she gonna take it and she's going to redirect it either to herself because she's fully capable of realizing her own dream.
Yes.
Or she's going to partner with that man that has that vision. And not only that vision, that ability and that skill to turn those visions into action and into reality. But you over there dreaming. Now you dreaming and you sleep. And you sleep single.
When you wake up, who you with? Your damn self.
My goodness.
That one right there, I hope will wake a lot of people up.
That's a good one, man.
It really is. But it's one that I like to say I hear it a lot about how people are going to do things.
Right.
And I love it. And even the young, and they tell me how they're going to do it. And the first thing I want to know is what's the plan? And they really ain't got one.
Right.
When I'm getting bits and pieces because see you giving your goal.
You giving your what you want to do.
Yeah, and that goal has no real plan. I'm expecting that plan to change anyway. But can I hear something that I can say, okay, well maybe you try this or that.
Right.
I want to see what efforts you gonna put before I start giving you my energy.
Right.
Because I don't want to waste mine on somebody that just wants to talk.
Yeah, and this is real important. When you meet someone or you're just getting to know someone and you're in dialogue, you know, that old long night conversation type dialogue, people, you should know that you are transparent and people can hear the reality of your vision. If you're just popping off the top of your head with some ideas like how you're going to ball out of control and how you're going to do this and do that, people can hear through the BS. Right? Everyone has a discerning spirit, and hopefully they can hear the truth that you're just dreaming. But if you got a real plan, a woman or a man can hear the depth of your plan. They can hear how passionate you are about that goal or that vision that you have. They can see your life in some cases, how your life molds to align with the things that you're saying. So just make sure that you ain't just popping off at the mouth because here's the point in my mind is that a man's character in and of itself is based on his vision for himself and his life.
I give that to you.
That's everything. Your vision is who you are. And if you have no vision, then you potentially are nobody and nothing. Right? We are only our hopes and our dreams and our aspirations and our belief systems and our value system. That's who we are. Otherwise, we are not. We are nothing but flesh and blood. Who we are is our character, our spirit, our vision. And so we need to start waking up a little bit more to what those things are. What is a vision? You know, if you don't know how to develop one, go on YouTube, go on Google, and just start looking at what vision is about. Because if you don't create it, you know, if you don't create it in your mind first, you can never experience it in your life. And that's just the way the universe works. So I'll leave it at that.
There you go. Job right, Jeffrey. Tie us together, baby. Do your thing.
And this is real easy. When you have a man with a vision and you got a woman with insight, there's nothing that you can't get accomplished with that couple.
Yes.
I know this couple, they have this friend who was in the fitness industry. He had his own fitness spot for about 5 or 6 years, makes about $50,000 to $60,000 a year working for himself.
Okay.
They opened their own fitness spot, and in 6 months, made more money than he made in a whole year.
Right.
And then they lost that first spot, bounced back and got another spot, and makes more money in a quarter than he makes in 2 years.
Right.
I need you to understand me here. This is a man and a woman that have partnered in a way that have made themselves a power couple.
Right.
And that's the part of it right there. Now, ladies, y'all can go to all these empowerment brunches y'all want to. There's still going to have to be some partnership with a man somewhere along that. So if that empowerment brunch ain't teaching you how to partner with your man or your husband to build something, you're going to the wrong damn brunch. Man, what we have to do, we have to give those women something to work with. They can't get all that empowerment and come home and they're trying to pour it into our vessel, and our vessel ain't big enough.
Yes.
What we have to have is this partnership. So if we got the women that are empowered and the men that are powerful, we got a power couple. Then we got a power family, and that brings powerful children. And those powerful children build a powerful legacy that outlasts each one of us individually, and it creates a powerful community. Once we do that, there's going to be some powerful things going on in our neighborhood.
Yes,
that's
sir.
all I got.
Oh, that's not all you got. That right there is drop the mic.
That's drop the mic all day long.
That's bringing family back. For this holiday that's coming up, that's a good way to bring us together. So I appreciate you ending in a way that I like to see us start beginning.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
in
man.
a power way.
He said if the man has vision and the woman has insight,
there's nothing you can't make happen.
There's nothing you couldn't make happen. And you know, one of my favorite things in the world is to see a power couple at work. Like, you know, that's an extreme dynamic. You're talking about two probably really powerful people who are able to find a match that allows them to achieve great things in the world. Imagine what their conversations are like at night. You know, damn, honey, you really got down on that program we did last week. Man, I thank you for doing that. Golly, I can't wait to I'm gonna put you in charge of the whole thing next time or whatever. You know what I mean? However that program goes. But there's got to be a lot of real encouraging words go on in the bedroom of a power couple, you know? When they talk about problems, they get right to the issue and they resolve it, and they're smiling the next morning and probably making love that night. They just move through things that otherwise would challenge other couples. And so, you know, I'm just proud of those people. I know there are many of them in the world. We've seen them all of our lives, our grandparents and our parents. You know, fighting through the struggles of relationship, but vision and insight, man, can change the game for a couple for sure.
I mean, you can say whatever you like, man. I might be single now. I like to be one of them power couples later on.
You want to be a power couple, Jay?
I mean, hold on. Y'all going a little ahead of the time. Pump y'all right. I'm just saying, you know, no matter how you look at life, you know, you want to have a bigger vision. Yeah. And being single all my life was something I'll never envision.
Yeah.
I really did envision being with somebody that I can share these things with, and they can add value with me. I mean, just doing it all by myself and saying I did it. I didn't start this by myself.
Right.
I never just wanted to be myself. I'm selfish. I'm by myself. I'm mad at myself. I'm like, hey, you didn't do this. I pushed myself where I need somebody to balance me.
Right.
I'm just all over the place. I need somebody to calm your behind down.
You selfish though.
Well, that's what, even with myself, I'm somewhat like, I want some certain things. Guess what? I can give away from that when I have something in front of me that's showing me something different. I mean, I'm by myself so much. Hell yeah, I'm selfish. I'm used to me. I need to get away from that. I'm kind of tired of my own damn self. Getting to a point of getting crazy.
You crazy.
Oh, that's too much time, Mama said. Too much time.
That's good, Jay. That's good.
Keep it real.
Listen, you aren't in a leather couch, but you definitely performing leather couch activities right now.
I'm about to lay down somewhere, on a wooden floor.
No, keep
on a hard
talking.
surface.
I need you to talk yourself into that.
I ain't going that damn far. We getting in there.
So,
like you owe me a copay.
Hey, listen, Brother Jeffrey, man, you always bring it so hard in the paint, and we are just grateful for your words, your inspiration every week. Anything you'd like to share, man, before we part tonight?
You know, on a serious note, I'm from Columbus, Georgia, and in Columbus, Georgia, one young lady was a top model for a long time before she was discovered in Columbus, Georgia.
Okay.
And she passed away today. Kim Porter was just 47 years old.
Yes.
And, You know, that's the part where you got to be careful in life. You got to remember that you just don't know what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. So make sure you tell your folks and your husbands, your wives, your lovers, your family, your children, brothers and sisters, let them know that you love them. You just never know what tomorrow holds. So, you know, that's just unfortunate. You know, I feel for family and everybody that knew her to be a really, really good person. She never got too big to say hello to you. So, I'm just sorry to hear that happen.
Yeah. All right, Brother Jeffrey, we thank you again, man, and we'll look to speak with you on next week. Have a good one, man.
All right, fellas.
All right, take care. I just recently, for those folks who don't know, I think we got about 1 minute to break here. I just lost my father, and it's been, one of the, most challenging times in my life on my inside. Not a lot changes on the outside sometimes, but on the inside, a lot has been going on, a lot's been changing, and one of the things I realized about my relationship with my father is that I did not have any regrets when he passed. We talked on the phone multiple times a week, and it was always nurturing, it was always full of humor, it was always life lessons, and we did all the things that a father and a son could ever do in life, from travel to shrimping and crabbing and playing lots of music and dancing in the middle of the living room. He was just a great father. And so when Jeffrey makes the point that when you have folks around you who you love and care for, now is the time to express that love to them. Let go of the bitterness, let go of all the heartache, let go of the mistakes that they made. Try to find a way to forgive them. Even if you don't forgive them, just plant an old sugar seed in there. Just call them and say, I love you, and I might not speak with you for another 10 years, but I love you to death, and I just wanted you to know that, all right? Take care and have a good one, right? 10 years? Because that's what happens. Sometimes miscommunication happens, and it costs us years of not being able to relate and love the people who we know we should be relating and loving with. So with that, I'll get us ready for our break. And folks, can you see how valuable this information is? How valuable it is to understand yourself and your perspective of love, in this case that we're talking about tonight. I mean, this is award-winning material. This is Nobel Peace Prize material, I think, because if you've never been exposed to this type of dialogue, you probably are learning a lot tonight, perhaps about yourself, if nothing else. So we thank you again for being with us. Stay tuned. Bar Talk with Jay. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. What I tell you, when they go hard in the paint, they go hard in the paint.
Yes, sir. That track was super fly, wasn't it?
I'll tell you what, next break, I got to bring my son on because he has some things going on today. And it's a little bit off the topic, so I'm not going to do it just right now because we can get back on topic. But I'm going to throw a little spin because everybody going through some things. They love social media to air their things out. So since he aired one, I'm going to throw a little spin to this one. But we're going to go back. Bar, let's go back to the topic. We're going to go to the topic right now. Oh, yeah.
First, we got to ask AP a question.
Oh, what question we ask AP?
The question is, if you found out you were you had smashed a married man, would you stay in that relationship?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends on what the criteria is of his marriage. If they got an open marriage, carry on.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
If they don't, then that's up to the woman.
That would be you. What would you do?
What would you do?
Oh, me personally?
Yeah.
Oh, me personally. Here's the thing. It really would, so in my younger years when I was completely savage, I didn't give a fuck. If I don't already fucked him,
Another victim to the game.
Hey, You know, it depends. It's gonna depend on a lot of things. It'll depend on one or two things. Number one, because I'm really not I have weird. I'm not gonna say weird. I have atypical views about this whole legal marriage thing. So, so yeah, if they were not in an open marriage, then yeah, no, because I just don't need that kind of stress in my life. I like my tires inflated. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like a dude with my car. You fuck with my car if you want to.
Okay.
The 40,
bro. We agree with that.
That 45 will come out. Like, I understand you upset, but
that ain't what you want. Don't let that smooth taste fool you.
We do believe that is the righteous thing to do.
Just saying.
That is the righteous thing.
You ain't trying to beat your mate.
We do believe
You might want to leave that car alone.
Hey.
So we really haven't had a chance and an opportunity to just go real hard on the subject tonight. And so I want to open that door for the panel here. The question is, since sex became easier to get, love has become harder to find. And what is insinuated here, I think Barbara did an outstanding job of putting together some reasons why sex became easier to get and love so hard to find. And here's the first one. Okay. Why get a relationship when you can get all the perks for free? Why give up your things and stuff? And why entertain their ways and etc.? When you can get all the perks for free, you can just get the gravy. You don't need the meat and potatoes, right? Here's another one. There are apps for hooking up.
Okay.
And so that means sex is plentiful.
Yeah, we all want meat.
Right?
I mean,
sex is plentiful, and
you
so
can't
that
blame
means,
it on apps.
Exactly.
What kind of?
You can't blame it on apps.
It just brings people
People
more
was
to
fucking before apps.
Listen, an app has significant impact now. Let's not minimize the value of the app.
An app just increases your options. That's all it does.
Dramatic.
It
That's the
literally
point.
just increases your geographical options. That's
if
it.
that man didn't have 100 women he could talk to tonight on his computer, he might be in that room talking it out with his wife tonight. You know what I'm saying? That's the point that I'm making, right?
Right?
You know, he got so many options that, you know, he's not focused on the right things sometimes, you know?
Swipe right, swipe left.
Commitment is easily avoided. Right? Here's another one. You want the sparks and fireworks, but not stable, lasting love. Here's another one. Too many options. She said that, right? Sex is this generation's way of clicking with someone.
All right.
Powerful.
I mean, very powerful.
So we know that, you know, I do believe, and you, who wouldn't agree with this, that because sex has become so normally accepted, that it hinders people's ability to find real love.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that for the simple fact that, I mean, if you ever get the opportunity to date in another country, I highly recommend it. So for instance, in certain European countries, it's not so they consider the way Americans date reverse. Yeah, so like it's not in European countries.
What do you mean reverse?
It's in reverse. Like they fuck first, and then they decide whether or not they want to make sure they're compatible sexually first.
That's the norm there.
Right.
Okay.
And then you go out to dinner.
And does that work? Is the divorce rates less?
They're less than what they are over here.
European day. Hey, count me in too. What ain't the rule? Count that shit out. European ruling. I'm telling you, that long. But the reality is we live under European rule already. It ain't like, it might not be a socially accepted culture, but it happens in almost every relationship, right? You're not
every, but
most. I mean, who says, okay, we're not gonna have sex till we get married anymore?
I mean, they might not say it like that, but they ain't trying to just have it always on the first date. I mean, they saying you meet and that's what you do. You get it in.
I mean, they go out, and then they'll ask you back like,
so let's just smash and grab.
Right. And then like after a couple tosses, it's like, let's go grab a bite to eat.
You better pass.
Let's go grab a bite to eat.
You got a good group.
Let me ask a question. This is a big question. How do we inspire more love in the world? Because see, people are missing the whole understanding of love and long-term commitment and spending, it's not for everybody, but people are missing that whole love equation because they're thinking about sex. Because they're so trapped in the embodiment of sex. And come on now, people are caught up big time in that.
They are,
right?
But you got to back up and realize, when you start saying love and you say sex, you want a time, but truthfully, you can love without sex.
You sure can.
It can be
there are
built
a lot
up
of sexless
within you.
marriages out
Right.
there.
So long as you have love in you. See, a lot of time people are trying to find love in sex. But okay, and then you're chasing something that you gotta already have. You gotta have that love in you. So when you having sex and you want to call it making love, you're bonding because now you into that other person because you know what's in you. And a lot of times when it comes to love, there's some people that's cold-hearted and don't have no love in them. Okay, so it's just sex. Now you can get it twisted because the other person might be full of that joy and that other person's not. So they're not even perceiving that as making love at all. They might consider it as a fuck. Period. Okay? You might even say good sex. No, it was just a fuck. Because they ain't in that caring mode. And you gotta care to love. And everybody does not care.
Right.
So how do we promote more love?
Get back into understanding yourself better. Because bottom line, you can't look for sex in another person. It got to be more in you. You got to get more comfortable in what you believe in. Your beliefs. And not just in that act. It ain't in just the act. It's the knowing of self and encouraging yourself that I have a great sense of value. And that way when you go into something, you can see if it's worth your time or not. That's going to encourage you to be more stay with a person that's showing you the same kind of compassion compared to a person that shows me no empathy, no sympathy, and this coldness.
Right.
I know that's not me. I don't have to stay there. That's a bad place to be. But if you don't have that, guess what? Most people follow anything that's out there. TV, ruling the world, baby. Why? Because again, if you got a good sense, I turn that shit off half the time. If it's not of what I like, why am I watching it? It's not taking me anywhere. So again, be led by being inspired and understanding what's in you. It starts with you first, but not just in that act. Because I like the act. Now, sex, I like. I mean, he made it good for a reason. And I love them reasons. But I just ain't going to tell you I love a person because of it. That's not real. That's you playing. But I like playing.
And to some degree, I guess I'm attempting to find fault in the world because sex has run so rampant. People are missing love. I'm trying to find a reason I'm trying to peg maybe some fault so that we can start to figure out how to get people to be about love and less about sex, right? That's what this whole conversation about. Since sex became easier to get, love has become harder to find. Love is harder to find because people are distracted.
I mean, what are we basing that off of, though? Like, what are you basing it? Like, is that a factual statement?
You don't think so?
I'm asking. I mean, is that a factual statement?
Okay. I want to hear from. Go ahead, Phil. You might come. I want to hear from.
Okay. So you said sex is easier to find and easier to get, and love is harder to find.
Okay.
Not true.
Okay.
It's all in your sense of purpose. It's what you want. Okay. And if you want sex, that's what you're gonna get. That's what you're gonna attract. That's the nature and the law of attraction. If sex is easy, we can get sex a dime a dozen. if you love someone, you're gonna have to put in time. You're gonna have to put in work. You're gonna have to put in effort. You don't have to put that in with sex. That's 180. That's 3 minutes. If you love somebody,
okay,
that's time.
Okay, I don't
have to put that in it.
Listen, I don't disagree. Let me give a little more example here. Let's say we got a 16-year-old young man, right? Good-looking kid, right? Tall, dark, and handsome. Got a mouthpiece on him. You know what I'm saying? Got a little business hustle to him. I mean, he got it going on, right? That sex is coming at him so plentifully that he is missing the exposure of the heart. And there was probably some real good girls, maybe wife material that's coming at him, but he ain't gonna see it.
How old is
I
he?
disagree.
16, 17 years old.
Why is he looking for a wife at 16?
I'm not saying look for it. We're talking about the exposure of love.
Okay.
If you ever had kids, you gotta teach them what love is all about. No, he trying to hit. Or, well, he had good sex. Well, he had good sex, but he don't care about you. You need to be looking for love, girl, not just sex. That's what I tell my daughter, my cousin. Go ahead. Listen.
At the age of 16,
At 16,
17,
you need to be fucking everything you can.
You need to be enjoying life.
Listen.
Look, listen. You need to be enjoying life because at 16,
Right,
17,
enjoying life.
you need to be enjoying life. Now, once you get to college, or if you decide not to go to college and you decide to pick up a trade, and then you start working in your trade, and then after college, then you start working in your career. Now, granted, due to the fact that you had sex so easy and it becomes so rampant, cool, it's going to be there for you. And that's what you want to attract. It's going to take that one woman to step into your life to show you something different, to make you change your mind. And that's exposure.
And I think that's backwards. Maturity.
Because by the time that real love comes at you, you ain't gonna even know what it looks like. You gonna think it's just a hit. You gonna think it's just a hit.
I disagree.
No, that's not true.
See, ain't nobody dealing with the fact of pouring in the loving compound to this person.
Okay, right, you're not listening, and then you're acting like people
I hear
who
you
are,
very clearly.
No, but then you're acting like people who are 16 have not had a mother and a father to model what love looks like. So, like, whatever you grew up with in your house as far as what love looks like, that's what you're going to go out into the world and look for. So, like, let's not pretend like people just become 16 and they've never had any exposure to what relationships look like. Like, don't do that. Let's have an educated conversation. That's all I'm saying.
So when you get to that point, when that woman walks in your life and she sparks that interest to, like, hold on, maybe she's not just a smash and dash. Now that's when you decide to pour into and sit back and reevaluate what you want out of life. And then at that point you have a sense of purpose, because at that point you have another goal besides your career.
And at that point, are you aware of what it takes to fulfill that relationship?
No, because it's one step at a time. That's why you pumped your brakes and you're like, hold on.
I don't need to understand love until I encounter it.
No, you need to understand love way before you encounter it, because first you have to love yourself.
And the various types of love.
And you probably get that from having a girlfriend, maybe, and somebody to care for.
No. You have to experience loving yourself before you can experience giving love, showing love, and receiving love from anyone else.
Yes.
You have to be happy with yourself.
Yes.
You can't go and try to be happy with someone else or have someone make you happy, because it's not going to work.
Right.
If you can't go to the movie and enjoy a movie by yourself, you sad. If you can't go and have dinner by yourself and read a book, you sad.
Right.
Because you can't love yourself.
Right.
And you're showing the world that you don't know how to love yourself. So how can you receive love if you don't know how to love yourself?
Right.
And that's a great
point. Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, that's the foundation of love. Is the beginning of love is the love of self, and then you know how to give it. But the topic tonight says to me, just the way it's scheduled, Since sex became easier to get, would everyone agree that sex has become easier to get?
That's the easiest thing to get besides loaf bread.
Prostitution is the oldest profession in the world.
Now, that's right. Hey, listen, it's the highest paid profession. So watch this. So now I'm asking you the question. You were the both saying that we just missing the mark here a little bit. So I'm asking the two of you this question, and it is time for us to go to break. But give me an opportunity to hear from you on it. So, if sex has become easier to get, has that impacted our world's ability to love in any way?
No, I don't think so.
Not at all.
I don't think you can blame it on sex. You can't blame it on sex. I mean, if you look for something to blame it on something, but you can't blame it on.
And what could we blame it on?
The home.
Okay.
That's where it starts. It starts with the parents.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Listen, folks, let's take a quick break, and we're going to keep grinding at this subject. It is an outstanding subject, and everybody's making some really, really wonderful points. I hope you're enjoying it, and we're going to be right back.
We got the holidays coming up, so I want to make sure everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. And I know AP just coming in the building.
Yes.
Enjoy yourself on Thursday. We ain't doing nothing.
Okay.
No show, no nothing. But the bottom line is I want to make sure everybody enjoy their family.
Yeah.
And stay warm, because it's starting to get cold out here. Yeah. Now, we going to bring in a little spin to the show real quick. Mm-hmm. My son, Rock, was going through some things with his girl. Mm-hmm. And he posted some things on his page. Now, Dad ain't quick to tell him what to do, but social media can come back on you.
Yes, it can.
So I'm going to let y'all hear from him what he posts, and he can tell you more about how he feel. Because the reason I'm doing this, and this is spin, is because the young generation is going through some things, and we need to be hearing about it and having a better understanding. Because when you see something out there, you might want to find out where it's coming from.
Okay.
All right, right. Can you let everybody know what was going on, bro?
That's right. Okay. So I put a post out there today, and it go like this. Stop making me drop my hose if you are not. Hold on, let me make sure I read this right. Stop making me drop my hose. Stop making me drop my hose if you're not going to take me serious. Do you know how hard it is to re-up on hoes? It ain't. Bitch.
Oh.
Nah, the logic to this is it ain't hard to re-up on hoes. But goddammit, you are not gonna have me drop my hoes because you ain't serious. Let me tell you something. Just like females say they got maintenance men, well, guess what? I got maintenance women. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna get what I get. This is my secret. I don't give a damn about explaining this shit to the world because obviously y'all need to hear this. I'm a Pisces and I love hard. At the end of the day, I mess with who I mess with for a reason. She brings what she brings for a reason. So if you not in tune with me, bruh, man, listen, you just for another season. I do what I do for a reason. I can use metaphors, you just gotta catch on to what I'm saying. At the end of the day, if you're not for me, please be gone. I'm an alpha male. I got time to fight with a wannabe alpha woman. Come on, bro. Like, take heed to what I'm telling you. At the end of the day, I don't tell you stuff for my help. I tell you for the benefit of yours. Man, come on, bro. Who am I about to argue with? I ain't arguing with myself. Man, listen. At the end of the day, let me break something down. I love everybody, bro. Okay? I care a lot about people. I like to help people. You're not going to destroy or tarnish my image. That is what not going to happen. I'm so sorry. I don't care how you look at me. I do what I do for a reason.
All right. Now, y'all can understand why I brought this to the table. Okay? No, again, This is my son, and he has a right to feel a certain way. Now, I will tell you, younger generations, when you go on Facebook, I see a lot of this. Now, when you see this, you can't just say it's just cute. You know, I gotta find out what's really going on. All right. So he lets you know how he feels. Now remember, it's two sides to every story, and I'm not gonna have that person come on right now. I'm just gonna have us dissect what y'all just heard, and what I'm not gonna say what should happen, because the bottom line is how he feels. How he feels. It has a right to his opinion. But again, how we act, it's always gonna be a reaction. And that's what I wanted to make sure you understood. Because when you make that post, it can be a negative reaction behind it. And I always want to make sure he's clear on what he's deciding to do, because social media is a beast. And everybody ain't always on your team.
Yeah.
And even though you might feel one way and it's like, you know, hoes up, hoes down. Hold on, player. Just understand. There's a lot of men out there like myself that got daughters. And I don't really refer to my daughter as a hoe. So I'm going to look at that word in a nasty way, but bottom line, I know people play with it all the time. Somebody said garden tool. And it is. It's to turn that soul over. I love them hoes. They fertilize that soil, you know what I'm saying? They do things to help. But the bottom line, getting back to my son, is when you start to use some things and you reaching out, I'm trying to wonder who you're reaching to, because social media ain't going to be the one for you. They're not going to be the one to really hold you.
I had an opportunity to read this message before the show started, and it took me a moment. It actually took me back the way it was worded, but I come to understand it to basically say, stop wasting my time.
Right.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
you know, if you ain't serious about a relationship, you ain't serious about me. Why you got me firing people from my life? That's right. So that I can play games with you? I can play games out there. That's what I wanted to do. But if you about some real, then I'm about some real. But if you're not, you need to keep stepping. And I think the message comes from an angry person, right? When you use the word hoes and bitches, you really coming from a perspective of tension and anger. You know, if you got some education behind you, you know that means you moving to temp. But if you ain't got no education behind you, it could be just Mary and Jane. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it could just be a regular word. So just I think a young man or a man expressing himself with anger, trying to say, stop wasting my time.
And I think that's an easier breakdown.
Yeah.
Yep.
And again, when you break it down like that, we all can understand.
Yeah. And see, I think that the language of the message can easily be misinterpreted, because the older generation perhaps is taking so much offense to the language and the words that they're not going to hear the message.
Correct.
Sometimes, and that's kind of some of the disparity that happens even in music.
No matter what.
In art and etc. We see messages getting lost, and I don't believe young folk nowadays are saying anything different than young folks said back then.
Right.
It's just a different way of expression, and the message is getting missed. That's the loss of communication. But a very powerful message. You know what I mean? Stop playing games with my time, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's do something real.
They're way different than we do.
Yeah.
And that's what I like and that's why I want to bring them on, because again, how people perceive things can be so much different.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to make sure we understand when we start talking out on social media.
Right.
What Kraft said hits the mark a lot more understanding to me than what my son put out there. Because you have to dig for it. You got to understand, everybody's not going to be able to dig and perceive exactly how he feels, period. Now again, he took the time to understand him, to know when I look at him and I understand where this might be coming from. I can dissect and I can understand. But for a person just reading into it, they might not. And so you got to make sure you're very clear on your delivery.
If that message was recrafted to each of our specifications, what would be underneath the surface of that? We would be saying, stop cheating on me. We would be saying, stop spending my money if you ain't interested in liking me. We would say, stop using me for my time or my skill set. You know what I mean? Those are the kinds of messages that are really underneath the surface.
Right.
Don't take advantage of me. Don't lie to me. Stop cheating from me. Stop stealing from me. Stop trying to bamboozle me. That's really what's underneath of that message. And again, in any of our interpretations of it, or if we recrafted it in our own words, we'd be saying the same thing. You jive turkey, stop bullshit.
That man said jive turkey. There's that 50 coming out right now.
That's what
I'm perfectly okay with
I got you, bro. Jive turkey.
You cannot say jive turkey and then pop it top.
Yeah, that's where I am. That's where I am. That's good.
She said no.
Listen, that's what
like 3 decades apart.
That's what 50-year-old men do.
She said you're trying to unite
Listen,
sisters.
and I might be wearing some gators, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
With some wide leg cuffs on them, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
Listen, there are people in the world still like me like I am.
I mean, ain't nothing wrong with them like that. Just understand you mission. Mission.
Wow.
You smashing some generations.
Wow.
You jive. That's gonna be a new sandwich. I'm gonna pop my collar and finish my show. So how you gonna eat that? How you like it now? That's that crab.
I'm telling you, you know what that really came from? I spent so much time watching the Jeffersons and Good Times and 70 Son. I just could hear George Jefferson saying, "You jive turkey." That's where that comes from. That wasn't mine. That was George Jefferson. You know
You brought him back to life on that one.
Yeah, that was James. You know what I'm saying, from Good Times. So, but listen, I think it's important to continue to hear from our young people. They are saying the same. They're facing the same struggles that we face. And if you take time to listen, if you would take time to break the message down, here's an example. You have to break a message down from a child, almost like you have to break a message down when you go to the Word of God. You got to get down underneath so you can get some understanding. We oftentimes just judge too many things by their surfaces, and again, it leaves a lot of room left where the love doesn't come through, the togetherness doesn't come through, because we're just judging those young people. I believe our young people have a bright future. They got a lot of hurdles to face, but they're real smart. But they're focused on what they're focused on, and not what we maybe used to be focused on when I was a young man. But I think the young people are doing a great job, and we need to hear more from them. So thank you, Rob. We really appreciate you, brother.
Yes, and for any other young person that's listening, watching meets from Facebook, y'all got some things that y'all want to air out. You kind of embarrassed and you don't want to say it at home. Put it on our Facebook Live. Definitely, we'll get back to it, because one of the things I want to do is kind of kill the gap and get a better understanding. I love the way you broke it down, Craftmatic, on that one. And I like to say AP definitely had her chuckles when she was hearing it, because again, how we hear it and perceive it is all different.
Yes.
And I want y'all to understand is when you put stuff out on social media, we're not all going to get it the same.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that you just don't change everything in life for somebody else.
Yeah.
But just understand, somebody can take offense and not understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I like to say it's starting to get where we're dummying down and we're using grammar that just so off the mark that you can't expect everybody to follow you. If you're going to be out there on social media and you want somebody to better understand you, take the time to make sure they understand what the hell you're saying. Because it only makes it fair for me if I go on your page and I'm not understanding nothing, I'm not going to go on your page. That's a page that I'm going to skip by because what you doing. So I want people to get great followers and I want them to be great, but you're not going to get there putting out mediocre. Mediocre is going to get chewed up at best, and I don't want that to happen.
That's exactly right. Well, listen, folks, it's time for us to go to break. I got one more cut to present to you.
Okay, what you got for us, man?
I played this a couple of times over the last month or two, but just a track by my boy Case. Y'all remember Case from back in the day?
Okay. What Case
got a new album out in 2018. It's fire. I would encourage you to listen to it. This is one of my favorite tracks off the album. I hope you enjoy it. We'll be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
back with Part Talk with Jay. One of the things I want to tell y'all, man, on this last break, I had several different people come in the building. I'm about to introduce them in a second, sitting in the background. Also, I got somebody that came all the way from New York City. That's right. I got Doc came in the building, sitting in there listening to the show. She listened to me up there in New York. She even came all the way down here to be in person to hear the show. So again, we got fans all the way up there coming all the way down here. Now, the other person that came in the building, if y'all don't know him, is Loud Makeup and More. Now, this dude has came several different times, but he got an event coming up. We put it in the forefront for y'all to see it, but tell us more about what's about to go down.
It's the Glamour Tour, y'all. Makeup and More here, Loud More in the building. Appreciate the love, Jerry. My homie, look, I'm right around the corner. I had to get over here.
All right.
Got the flyer hot off the press. It is a Glamour Tour, being a MAC makeup artist over 15 years. We got to actually, if you're a real makeup artist, it's the IMATs this weekend, which actually the Mario, the MAC main guy, artistic director will be in town doing the class, doing the seminar. So I'll be up on all that. Man, my last weekend was bananas. It's on my Facebook page. Vicksburg, Mississippi, they showed up and man, it was amazing. So I'm looking for a real good turnout for Atlanta, December 2nd. Thanksgiving, you have all your turkey in and all that. You'll be getting ready for Christmas and the holidays. So if it's like you're a hairstylist, makeup artist, stylist, you can increase your business by really learning how to do some natural looks. I call myself the master of the natural look. So there's a lot of clean beauty. And in a podcast I was listening to the artistic director, he was saying that it's really something to be said to do that nice, clean, commercial look. You can't go wrong. There's a lot of women out there who want to enhance their beauty real naturally, not too much foundation. I had a little slogan in my class that I did this weekend. I said, what do we put on last? Everybody said, foundation. I said, what do we put on last? I said, foundation. Because really, with my makeup artistry, I do put on foundation last because I do the eyes and all those different things because you don't want the fallout. Right. And so foundation is the last thing I put on. And so many women are just weirded out about foundation. And is it going to be too heavy, but you're missing so many other things. The lashes, the natural beauty of your lashes, your eyes, the liner, doing your lips well. So there's a lot of pieces they're missing. You're going to get all of that. You're going to get 30 years wrapped up into 3 hours of Glamour Tour. It's going to be amazing. I got an amazing place at the Marietta Conference Center, the big hotel with the golf course on it, man. Okay. It's going to be well decorated. It's really going to be a classy affair, so it ain't nothing to play with. So, I mean, if it's a young lady, somebody, who really wants to be in the makeup, somebody might want to sponsor that person. However you need to do it. It's on Eventbrite. It's Makeup and More, the Glamour Tour, Atlanta 2018, man. Go on, support. I had like at least 40 women in Vicksburg, and it was so amazing, man. I had like 15 girls from the Alcorn State basketball team. Wow. So they're showing how to be, and really that was one of my passions, because I'm all about athletics. I've seen like 2 young kids. They said, don't you be at the court? I was like, yeah. So, I'm all about my athletics, man. And so these girls are really into being athletic, being amazing athletes, but with the beauty aspect. That's what I see. I said, I like to see them on the floor, killing it, with the assists, all this kind of stuff. But when they come out the locker room, they're like, was that you? You know what I mean? And man, my biggest thing was one of the girls, like they in the back of the class playing around because lashes was one of the gifts that I gave in their kits, right? Yeah. And so they was practicing some of the techniques out there. And one of them, they got them both on right. Then they all start screaming in the back of the class. That was heartwarming, man. Amazing for me, man.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Lyle, you do fabulous work, man. And folks, you have an opportunity to hear from the best of the best, and right here, Atlanta's own. So make sure you come out, fellas. If you need to turn the notch on your ladies' game a little bit, it might be the right place to send them to. Yes.
It's a gift.
Send your mom down there, your auntie, maybe.
And ladies, y'all deserve it. Ladies do so much, and I really dedicated my life to enhancing and being helpful to women. Really, it's a help thing, because here's the thing. You can't, or some people can, but you don't want to go to the Mac counter all the time. I like to see y'all, but you can't do it all the time. So what I do is give the women ability to do their own makeup. So on those special occasions, those special nights that you really want to go out, at least you know what to do and when.
Right.
And there you go. That's a non-selfish dude right there.
Awesome. Man, he reminded me of this one night I was invited to this event. And they said there were going to be all these women there from Europe. right? All these girls basketball and soccer players. And so I was like, okay, cool. So I went and I started intermingling, and these girls were absolutely gorgeous. And they're like the world's top basketball players. So they took their makeup and their apparel, they took all that real serious. So really, no matter where you are in life, you need to take your appearance very serious. And your appearance can do a lot for you. Appearances can get yeses that otherwise you couldn't get. Make sure you keep yourself tight, ladies, and this is a perfect opportunity to participate. Lyle and Boyd does it so big. December 2nd?
December 2nd. It's on a Sunday. I was very thoughtful. I know ladies do a lot on Saturdays. So it's Sunday after church. I know you're going to be looking fly after church anyway. So like I said, it's going to be a real classy affair. Come on out, sponsor somebody. Makeup and more. The Glamour Tour.
Ooh, it's the Glamour Tour. Make it glamorous. Good. You know what I'm saying? And again,
that's awesome,
to the men out there to be like, man, listen, if this man is willing to take the time to show you and teach you, it might be worth you going out there and investing the time. And again, I've seen some people walk out the store and scare the hell out of me. Right? They didn't know what they were doing. I was like, they had no clue. And their girlfriend needed to be shot because they didn't say nothing. So I know some people need your help because they don't understand all the colors. There was a lot of clashing going on. I ain't even that kind of dude. I was like, wow. And they looked at me like, well, what's the problem? I'm like, shit, why you in the problem? They should have told you. But you want to break it down and get that person can look nice if they just knew. And my whole thing is we ain't got that exposure. You're giving that opportunity. And I just want to make sure people take full advantage of it because I ain't saying everybody don't know what they're doing. But the few that don't, somebody's willing to teach you. It's not like it's your fault. Nobody ever showed you. Somebody wasn't around. I am not judging that. I'm saying there's somebody that's willing to give you that perfect message.
And you know what? I don't know the facts on this, Lyle. You can help me with this, but I would imagine, because I remember seeing my mother going to work, and then I would see her when she got ready to go out. And those are two totally different looks. And so I would imagine every woman has got 3, 4, or 5 looks, and some of them you might not know about. Some very appealing ways that you can present yourself to the world that may make a difference.
They don't show it all the time. They don't show it all the time.
Right.
That's why I say for those special occasions, like I said, during the holidays you got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas, you got New Year's, and these are all special parties. Or when you go to your husband's job. When there's other ladies at the job, you want to look your best. You don't want to be natural all the time. Trust me. That's all I'm saying. So the eyeliner and different techniques, man, is really important. And I started this on because women asked. They asked, "What do you teach classes?" So yes, I did.
All right. Thank you so much, Lyle, for being here, man. And folks, get the word out. Make sure you're sharing and liking this program. Make sure you're getting the word out about Lyle's program. And let's go ahead and wrap up. We got about 5 or 6 minutes before we close out the show. One of the things that I personally have been trying to convey during this conversation, and I haven't gotten much traction, and maybe I haven't expressed it right. Okay, I take ownership of that. You know, But no one can tell me that when sex increases in a community, that love is going to flourish. It just doesn't happen that way. And if you teach young folk sex early, they have no inner substance to deal with real love when it comes. Not to say they're not going to learn it from, the partial exposure they have from their parents or their grandparents, their uncle, etc. But we all know men in the world, 30, 40, and 50-year-old, who never came out of that hit and quit program. And they probably missed a lot of good Mrs. Rights because they think that the passion that you have in sex perhaps is the same exact passion that you have in love. And they're kind of different. They're actually very different. If we were teaching the idea of love, the physical versus the spirit of love. So I'm just attempting to convey that, in our caption here tonight, since sex became easier to get, love has become harder to find. And perhaps we just don't know where to go to find people who just want to love. and not really worried about the short-term sexual, short-term benefits. You know, the friends with benefits. Where do you go to find love nowadays? Where do you go to find love? Some people will never find love because they're not interested in finding love, right? But if you're interested in love, where do you go to find love?
All right, well,
I'm very interested in hearing the comments. A lot of anxiety going on over there. I'm glad you're sitting in Congress like that. They might escort you out of there. You go ahead.
You got a Democratic Party up in here.
Listen, I really want to hear it.
Say her piece.
I mean, I'm listening to you.
Don't worry about me. Just make a comment to the world. That was my opinion. Now let's give your opinion.
I just feel like. Okay. I feel like, to piggyback off of what Phil said earlier, I think that love starts with you. You can't put onus on somebody else for your happiness. You own that. You own your happiness. You own your physical well-being. You own your emotional well-being. That is your responsibility. If you're going to be expected to love anybody, you have to start with yourself. You have to be okay with being alone with yourself. Because when you are alone with yourself, you are forced to deal with you. And if you can't deal with you, you ain't gonna be able to deal with nobody else. If you can't deal with your bullshit, if you can't look yourself in the mirror and say, bitch, you need to get your shit together. You are getting raggedy as hell. Dude, you need to get your shit together. You getting raggedy as hell. Your father didn't raise you to be like this. My mama didn't raise me to be like this. If you can't do that with you, then don't invite nobody in your circle, because you're going to end up putting somebody on somebody's psychiatrist's couch.
Mess them up too.
Point well taken.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
I would say you hit it. Drop the mic. When I say she hit it, you gotta understand. I said it from the beginning. It starts with you. But she gave it to you. Have to have ownership, and don't invite people in. And I like to say that one right there is huge.
Right.
Because a lot of times we want to be so unselfish that we invite people and you're not ready.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start looking for love, just understand you have to have a better understanding before you go looking. That's why sex is totally separate.
Mm-hmm.
If you want sex, yeah, you can attract it all day long.
Mm-hmm.
But do not look for love in it.
Right.
You're attracting the wrong thing, and then you put ownership behind it, and you bringing people in, and then you wonder why they ran over you.
Mm-hmm.
They wasn't for you. You let these people in. You let all these soul ties, because that's what you want them to do, and you want to put love behind it. It has shit to do with love. It's just your nasty ways. You want to do you, but have ownership of you.
Mm-hmm.
And don't put love behind that. Just say what it is. I am doing me. Do you? And people can respect that. But when you start saying love, okay, now you're pouring back in. And then don't be mad when you pour it into something that's moving a glass because it wasn't meant for them. I don't want that. That's not what I came for. You told me to come over here and tear it up. That's what I came for. Now you want to start talking about love, cuddling, and all the rest.
Catching feelings.
Yeah, your feelings is not what I came for. So guess what? It's going to be poured on the table.
Right.
And it's going to stay on the table. And that's why your ass is single. Pay attention to what you do. And then you might make change. I'm not saying anybody's wrong. But we ain't always paying attention to what we do. This show is not to blame. It's not to throw salt. I'm not trying to cut deep into no one. We all made mistakes, but the bottom line is we all been gifted with that choice. Let's choose better. If you look at your life, it's a stepping stone. Everybody that sit at this table have made mistakes and grown from it. And I like to say, for anybody that's going through some things and feel like you can't get out of it, yes you can. Quitting is the only way you can. Giving up on life is the only way you can. We trying to show you ways that you can without ever giving up. You might have to make change. I don't believe in not just quitting. You might have to quit some bad behavior. So I don't like that onus of never quitting, okay? If you got some things that you doing that ain't helping yourself and nobody else, some things you need to learn how to quit, right? You know, from smoking, doing anything of negativity that might be hurting yourself, even alcohol. If you are habitually always drunk and you got to drink to a point where you don't even know what happens, blacking out, certain things you gotta watch and you gotta keep control because it will lead you a shipwreck.
Right.
I don't want nobody to be shipwrecked when I know you need to be out there in that ocean and sailing like you really want. You just don't have nobody that's gonna help guide you, so you're lost. I want to wake people up. And if you can hear it in what we're saying, just understand we're not blaming. But we'll love if you listen and make your own change. It's not for us, it's for you.
Yeah.
Amen.
And that is Bar Talk with Jay on tonight's show. We want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. Again, I'm Craftmatic, this Smooth Jay.
Hey,
we got Barb in the house. We got AP in the house.
We got people in the house, y'all.
We got Lyle and Moore in the house. We got Brother Phil in the house. Rock on the wheels of steel over there. And we just want to thank y'all folks for being with us. Stay tuned. We got more wonderful and real powerful topics coming at you. And so we love you. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.